Hey, it's Oliver, and welcome to Plus One EXP Blueprint and Drills. Here I'm going to show you how to do the work outside the markets. This module aims to dig, build, and earn Plus One EXP to become a holistic trader. And over a greater period of time, 3 to 6 months, the collection of EXP will become trading wisdom. So how do you put in the work? 1. Study theory, and immediately follow up with Plus One EXP drills to apply the theory learnt. So I'm going to go into what those EXP drills are. Then you want to journal every daily close and weekly close for reviewing price delivery. And then third step is journal every daily close and weekly close for recapping forecasts, wins, and losses. So step 2 is more to learn about price delivery. Step 3 is more to learn about how you take action and engage with price delivery and trading altogether. 4 is becoming self-aware of positive/negative trading thoughts, habits, and tendencies. And then 5 is becoming disciplined by being consistent and organized with chart logs and journaling. So if you do these 5 things, that over a period of time will build trading wisdom, and then you will become a different type of trader, a more holistic type of trader. So what is a holistic trader? Well, there are 3 rooted skill sets to build and progress towards consistent and profitable trading. 1 is anticipation. So this is where you anticipate where and why and how price unfolds. And then this is the main skill set for finding profitable trades. So you need to be able to identify and anticipate how price will move from A to B, and then that's how you get rewarded. It's through the skill of anticipation. But the second skill is pattern recognition. So this is recognizing the repeating patterns, fractals, frameworks, and narratives, such as market maker models, power theory, order blocks, fair value gaps. And once you can recognize these in real time, this will aid with consistent price action trading, because these patterns from time and price theory, they repeat. So pattern recognition, anticipation, and the third skill to become a holistic trader is self-awareness. So awareness of thoughts and actions when reacting to the price feed. The price feed doesn't know you're actually there, you're reacting to it, so you want to become aware of you reacting to it. And this is a skill to build for clarity and certainty on how to proceed with a price delivery move. Should I do X or should I do Y? Should I take this fair value gap entry? Should I trust this low? Should I wait for this low to get stop hunted? This is all self-awareness. And if you can't do it, then you need to be self-aware of why you can't do it. So anticipation helps with the intuition of how price will deliver and how price will react accordingly. So you can't do pattern recognition if you can't anticipate how a price will move, and you won't know what to do if you don't know where price is going to go from A to B. So you don't know what to be self-aware about. Pattern recognition helps with repeatable and systematic action after anticipation. So you need anticipation first. How is price going to go from A to B, so that you can take action in a systematic way, because a bullish order block and a bearish order block, or bearish order block, fair value gap, and a bullish fair value gap, they look the same. But how do you know if I should pick the bearish one or bullish one? Then you need to anticipate which one's going to break, which one's going to hold. That's only with anticipation are you able to really take action on pattern recognition. And then self-awareness gives you the wisdom for knowing what to do and what to avoid. So for instance, should I avoid this fair value gap? Should I trust this fair value gap? Should I respect this high risk, this high? That's all pattern recognition, and that gives us wisdom. And if it's a high risk, it's high, what should I do with that? Maybe I'm not going to be so demanding with my take profit, since there's a high resistance high. So there is self-awareness there. So with these 3 rooted skill sets, that just builds a holistic trader, and they will help each other and help progress you towards consistent and profitable trading. So just some chart examples to remove abstractions. We're going to do some +1 EXP drills to help with these rooted skill sets. So anticipation, pattern recognition, self-awareness. And one of them is called static journaling exercise or drill. And you can go ahead in your free time. But basically what we're trying to do here is, from the open, when the markets are closed and it's static, we're just trying to provide what is this market going to do from the open to the close. All right, and the more we can journal this and learn from the feedback, the better we get better at it. And we want to include everything from narrative, framework to the bell of the chart and additional takeaways. So that would be a static journaling example. Here is a dynamic journaling example where it's more to do with the price delivery in between. So once we know what the open is going to do towards the close and we have a forecast of that, dynamic journaling is more focused on the process in between, where we're focusing on what happened from 7 a.m. all the way to terminus. So there will be tutorials on how to do this, but this is just an overview of the different +1 EXP drills. The last one's my favorite. This is tape recording, and this is where you actually tape record everything to do with the trade, the tape reading session, or the practice. In this case, I was recording a trade execution. So those are some examples to remove abstractions. But what you're trying to do is, with all these 3 skill sets, you're trying to become more consistent and more profitable. And these are the drills that will help you with that, specifically building anticipation, pattern recognition, and self-awareness. So what are the order of progressions? So when building these 3 skill sets, follow this order of trading progression. So phase 1 is pattern recognition, so recognizing repeating patterns and fractals. See how they fit within different market narratives and frameworks. So you want to see, for instance, if I'm aligned with the bullish narrative and a bullish framework, then what are the patterns and fractals? How do they react in those situations? Or how do those patterns and fractals react to a counter trend narrative or a wrong framework narrative? So you want to become aware of what happens when this happens and what happens when Y happens. And through wisdom and through reference experiences, you'll be able to spot these patterns in the blink of a second, because it's all in the subconscious. So that's phase 1. That's what you want to build first, before trying to make any money, is just trying to see it so that you can read it in the future. So just view them as letters. And phase 2 is more about reading the letters into understanding. So that would be phase 2, which is like anticipation. So after you see it and you can see it for what it is, next is to anticipate what it's going to do. And this is when you recognize and trusting the delivery of live price action. So how does price move from A to B? And you want to look at it through the lens of the market efficiency paradigm and the business of Power 3. So that's how you anticipate, and that's MEP and Power 3 is exactly what you're trying to anticipate within, which includes like purges, inducements, consolidations, Judas swings, all of this stuff you want to build the anticipation skill set for. And then phase 3 is self-awareness. So recognize how the trader self reacts to that live price feed. So when all of this is happening, how does the trader self behind the screen with the mouse and the keyboard, how does he react to the live price feed? And you want to become aware of old habits and tendencies and positive or negative, and if negative, then flip the floor. So if you're having a timing issue, then you have to work on flipping that timing issue, and eventually, as you keep working towards it, that timing issue will become a strength. So those are the order of progressions. First, you start from pattern recognition, then anticipation, and then self-awareness. And you might already be at phase 2, since you could have been studying trading for a while now, specifically ICT type trading. You could be studying that for a while now, so you already know what a fair value gap is, what an order block is, but you might be working on the anticipation and self-awareness. And also, if you're at phase 2, you could also work on phase 3, since a lot of these work hand in hand, and you want to be as efficient as possible. So you can just write down exactly how you react to what's happening at the anticipation, and then you could work on building the anticipation skill set and self-awareness hand in hand together. But you won't be able to anticipate or become self-aware of anything if you have poor pattern recognition skill set. So if you are completely new, I recommend starting from phase 1, which is building that pattern recognition skill set, so you can see it, then you can read it, and then you can understand it like a book. So that's the order of trading progression. Now let's get into the +1 EXP drills. So I'm going to explain this in more detail next, but in order to level up these skill sets, these are the drills you want to do. So phase 1, the drills is static and dynamic journaling. So static journaling would be from the opening here, when the market's not trading, or before the opening, so when there's not even a lot of volatility. You want to journal everything that you think is going to happen, and then when the close happens, you can review everything that did happen and reverse engineer everything, and that's pure feedback to improve on. And the goal is just to progress to clarity and certainty on identifying narratives and frameworks. So what is the week going to do? How is that week going to trade? And how do the days get impacted within those weeks, so that you could have daily context every day for day trading, knowing when to do something and when not to do something. And phase 2 would be dynamic journaling. So you could do both static and dynamic journaling here for phase 1. But phase 2 is dynamic and tape recording. So you can start off, since you want to progress towards paper trading and demo trading, you can start off with dynamic journaling, which is paper trading here. So you're just taking screenshots every time something significant happens. And then from there, you can progress to paper trading and then demo trading. And then once you progress to demo trading, you can start the tape recording process for that. Or if you're doing the paper trading still, you can still do tape recording for that. Just take a screenshot, and also dynamic journaling. So whatever fits you the most. But this is the type of drills you want to be doing for leveling up anticipation. And phase 3 is self-awareness. So the drill is tape recording with demo trading, funded account, or live account. And the goal is to operate with consistency and purpose as a pro trader. So this is once you already know how to recognize patterns and how to anticipate things happening. Now you just want to work on yourself, since you probably already have a sense of what to do, but you just need to tweak a few parts of yourself. For instance, knowing when not to do this fair value gap, or when not to trust this low, for instance. That is more self-awareness skill set, and you want to be recording the screen for this, and also starting with demo trading, then progress to live trading. And just make sure that you have the goal to operate with consistency and purpose as a pro trader. So you have your goals, you have your principles, and you don't want to disrespect those goals and principles. So when the 3 skill sets have been built with a sense of clarity in my personal opinion, you are ready to start live trading with sensible goals. So you're not trying to win the Robin's Cup straight away. You're just trying to make ends meet with as a sensible goals. Now let's get into the 80-20 of trading progression. So we know what skills to progress. We know how the order to progress them in and what drills to use. Now let's look at the different drills for trading progression. So if you do these drills, that's pretty much 80% of the work. I would say 20% of the work is just watching those videos, and 80% of the work is what you do behind the scenes. So this is the 80-20 of trading progression. And this is what I call the blueprint to building progress in trading. The +1 EXP blueprint consists of simple but powerful drills and methods to level up your trading skill sets. Over a greater period of time, 3 to 6 months, the collection of EXP becomes wisdom for trading. Similar to hitting the gym and gaining muscle. It's a delayed gratification thing. So here are the trading skill sets. You got anticipation, pattern recognition, and self-awareness. The first drill is static journaling. So journal before the opening or after the closing a static snapshot of a range of study. So it could be the daily range or weekly range. And you want to see how price develops its range with time and price theory before and after, and see why price develop its range with what PD rays are utilized and what PD rays are neglected. So we go back here, so the static. You just want to, in this case, the weekly would be dynamic, but when it comes to the day, you just want to journal everything before the opening and then after the close. The next drill is dynamic journaling. So dynamic is journaling the process and delivery in between the open and the close with snapshots, focusing on MEP and Power 3 theory. So you want to watch how price applies the second mouse theory around key times of the day, and watch why price engineers or snares short-term liquidity for accumulation, manipulation, expansion, distribution. So you just want to see Power 3 and market efficiency paradigm theory whenever you're going through this dynamic journaling process. And 3, tape recordings. So pretty straightforward, recording live price action from trade execution or forward testing or just studying the tape, and you want to use the inception model for this. So record what triggered and what confirmed the framework. Record how you executed on the trade idea and managed it towards terminus. And also record why X and Y should transpire and how you feel in the moment with your emotions. So you can see all of these skills, they're pretty much trying to level up all of these drills. They're trying to level up all these trading skill sets. This one would be leveling up self-awareness, and these would be leveling up pattern recognition and anticipation. But with each drill, we're just trying to slowly build EXP for these skill sets. And just want to put this in there. Tape record these ones here, static and dynamic. Once you have more experience, you don't really need to do them as often. But the ones I would say are paramount are tape recordings. So you need to do that every time. And trade reviews, you need to do that every time as well. So let's get into trade reviews. So trade reviews would be reviewing trading inputs and outputs. So inputs would be forecasts, the risks, the trades. So what you're putting into the system, what's coming out of the system, you're reviewing that on a day-to-day basis or weekly basis. So at the close or at the morning if it's late at night, for instance. And what you're trying to do is obtain valuable feedback for trading Kaizen, so knowing what to do more of and what to do less of, or metrics. So just a collection of inputs and outputs over a period of time for numerical validity, which you can do trading Kaizen on afterwards. So knowing what to keep on doing and what to remove and stop doing, essentially. So with trade reviews, you want to become self-aware of the things that are progressing you to and maintaining a standard, such as it could be like sticking to a certain time, or sticking to a routine, or sticking to a method, or a structured way to forecast price before the opening, or becoming self-aware of things that are regressing you and you need to resolve them and remove, such as maybe you have really good narrative and framework, but timing is a bit of an issue. So you can work on resolving the timing so it's not really regressing you anymore, and it can become more of a strength as you work toward it. So that's trade reviews. You'll have great EXP from that for anticipation, pattern recognition, and self-awareness. Especially if you review the forecast and what happens at the end, you'll have great understanding and anticipation and pattern recognition. And all these time and price theory repeat anyways. What happens for a day will happen again in the future. What happens for the week will happen again in the future. So trade reviews is one of my favorites. And case studies, I don't really do this anymore, but this is something I used to do really a lot in the past, and I highly advise it. Well, with case studies, it's detailed PDFs to think through and clarify thoughts, ideas, and topics. And you want to use this to like brainstorm, and from this brainstorm you will have like a understanding that emerges and a perspective that is unique to you. And an example of this would be like, you could be learning fair value gaps for the first year, and then the second year and the third year and the fourth year, a fair value gap means something else to you than compared to the first year. So there's just like a deeper understanding that emerges and a perspective on fair value gaps that is unique to you that someone else might not see, or maybe you might have not seen on the first year that you've learned fair value gaps. So if you create case studies, it can really help with building that understanding and perspective that's unique to you. And it's a really powerful drill to have. And create PDFs for studies. So like after watching a video, after watching a video, and then you want to do some studies on a PD array, or you want to do some research on a trading model, or you want to just train the eyes on a lesson or a gem that you've learned on. You just want to create a bunch of PDFs for these, okay? Or you just want to find more examples and just learn more about your model, such as the inception model. Just create a bunch of PDFs for it, and take your time with them and carefully format them, because you want to use them as like an asset so you can review them over and over and over again with time. And if you take your time with it and you carefully format them, 5 years from now, you look back to what you've made and it will be amazing, because it will just be amazing, trust me. You'll see how far you've came. So C is this helps build positive reference experiences. So like I said, time and price they repeat, consolidation will repeat, and expansion will repeat. So if you can build a positive reference experience of what should I be doing in a consolidation, or what should I be doing in an expansion, so that the next time those things repeat, you can avoid doing the things that regress you and focus on the things that progress you. And that's a positive reference experience. So case studies can really help that. For instance, if we have like a quarter of just pure chop, you want to record exactly what that experience was like. So it could be summer or it could be December, and you just want to record what December's price action trading was like. And maybe you can compare that with a time of year that's a lot better to trade. So, such as Feb, or even Jan sometimes in the later month. And yeah, you just want to do all of this because everything will repeat in the future. All right, the time and price theory, they don't change. They remain static as well. So additional notes: roll up your sleeves. This is something ICT used to mentor me. And my understanding of this is 80% of the work done behind the scenes, and you have to be consistent towards this if you want to level up in trading. So consistency to building +1 EXP will lead to a progression in standards for prime trading. It's just like if you go to the gym and then you are on track with it. If you lose that standard, then you would see your lift start to progress. So you want to maintain that standard so that you are constantly getting better in the gym. And that's just an example. Backtesting. So this for a drill can work, but in my personal opinion, the best way to level up is through forward testing. Going forward with the market, because the market is the best mentor, and as you go forward, you get the feedback, and you learn from that feedback to go forward again. So, in my opinion, that's the best way to level up. However, backtesting can be useful for phase 1, which is pattern recognition. So if you're still trying to study the patterns, the frameworks, what a narrative is, what the frameworks are, then backtesting is completely fine with the replay tool. But if you're in phase 2, or you're trying to build self-awareness, which is phase 3, I don't feel, or in my personal opinion, backtesting would not be a great tool for that. And the last note is mentor. Again, in my personal opinion, the market is the best mentor and will give you the purest form of feedback you will ever need to level up in trading. So that's why mentor is number 1 is the market itself, and then you can get coaches before that. So after that, my best mentor is ICT, and before that, I don't really have any other mentors in trading apart from that. So we've talked about the holistic trader skill sets you need to build, the order of progression, why these are the 80-20 to trading progression. Now let's just get into, okay, what do you do with all this work? So chart logs. So as you go completing each +1 EXP drill, keep them stored and organized in digital storage. Format all your charts after journaling and not as you go. So you don't want to be putting the chart into the journal as you go. You just want to block off time and just be in a meditative state for like an hour. Use it as like a meditative state to journal price action and remain in the flow state. And then afterwards, you'll have like a collection of charts, and then you want to store that after. So don't store as you go, store it afterwards. So the steps for the storing the chart logs are: step 1, complete the drill. Step 2, store charts or notes into Notion or OneNote. So those are my preferred methods of digital storage. And step 3 is inside of those digital storage, just create a monthly folder, such as October 2024. Then label a header with the present date, such as October 11th. And then sort the chart underneath that header, so that if you go back to that date, October 11th, for instance, you can see all the charts again. Pro tip: keep things simple so it's easier to become consistent, and eventually you'll find your rhythm and groove. You don't have to be perfect. You'll find your groove. You'll find out your preferred method of storing charts. But if you're completely new, just use this as a baseline and then improve as you go. And some resources: you got Notion website, OneNote website, and here is a calendar. I just thought I'd throw that in, and it has all the US holidays, and it will give you the week you're trading as well. So It's just a very nice way to organize your journals with this as well. So that's the chart logs. Let's get into community engagement. So only upload your chart logs into the Skool community if 1, you're looking to gain feedback, 2, you want to have trading related discussions with other members in the Skool community, and 3, you want to set an example for the community. So maybe you're one of those stars in the community, you're doing very well, and you just want to be a helping hand for others, showing what has worked for you, and you don't really care about other people's feedback, but you just want to become a helping hand and set an example, then feel free to post your charts as well. And by uploading charts, you'll level up in the community and receive extra perks and benefits with the community. Other ways to level up is to engage with others in the comments, post wins or losses. Lessons from losses. So lessons is winning long term, and wins are just winning short term. And if you're going to engage with others in the community, just make sure that you adhere to these rules. Don't be annoying, rude, or spamming. That goes for charts as well. Make an effort, so don't create empty posts. You really want to set an example. You really want to put in the work and get the EXP from the market because it matters. And then third is just to be positive, okay? So you don't want to create a sob story because something happened to you. The market doesn't really care about you. It's going to do what it wants to do. So just be positive and treat this as a skill that could be leveled up with time, okay? With delayed gratification. So you don't want to be negative because you don't want to build a negativity over that period. So just be as positive as possible. And that positivity will rub off on everyone as well, and will create an upward spiral of a trading community that focuses on the right things. Anyways, summary. Just to recap everything we talked about for +1 EXP blueprint and drills. 1, understand what the 3 skill sets are that create a holistic trader. 2, identify what phase you are presently in as an aspiring trader and determine a goal. It could be to become more comfortable with narrative and frameworks, or to start paper trading, demo trading, or to go for a funded account. And 3 is follow the +1 EXP blueprint and progress to build wisdom with the skill sets. And this is just like going to the gym. I don't think you'll ever stop. There will be some intensive periods, some periods where you want to lock in and achieve a goal, but there will be some periods where you dial it back and you're not as intensive with the journaling or building the XP. But nonetheless, you should not stop doing either one of them, which could be trade reviews or tape recording or static journaling, because you want to be constantly refining your skills as a trader and building towards that holistic trader. So action steps for you are: 1, select a phase for your trading progression to focus on. So pattern recognition, anticipation, or self-awareness. 2, complete the EXP drills and progress to those goals, like reps for muscle. So static journaling, dynamic journaling, case studies, tape recording, trade review. And then progress to journaling, paper trading, demo trading, live trading. And then third is create and organize digital storage of chart logs. So use Notion or OneNote. They're free, by the way. And organize them neatly. And fourth is engage with the Skool community. So post +1 drills, chart logs, wins, lessons, or engage with others in the comments and adhere to those rules. So don't be annoying and just make an effort because it matters. And that's all we have for +1 EXP blueprint and drills.